Hi, YouTube. I hope you're doing good. I'm doing okay. I'm into my third month of exercising every day now. Some of you know I started out with 100 push-ups a day for 30 days, went into 100 squats a day for 30 days, and Dr. Sean Baker, or he calls himself Sean Baker MD, um, didn't have another challenge yesterday or today, so I just made my own for 100 sit ups for 30 days, plus other stuff. Excuse me. So I got them done this morning, and I'm like, partway into sweeping my floors and cleaning my house. So I thought, well, I'll take a break and say hello. So, yeah. Um, the weather is beautiful. We've got like probably about 75 today. It'll top out. And tomorrow's supposed to be 85 and like maybe 95 on Thursday. So it's like jumping in 10-degree increments. So pretty tropical with the moisture too that we have typically in our area. So I don't know. It's nice. Anyway, so the day before Mother's Day, I had made homemade pizza and pepperoni and extra cheese and cheesy garlic bread and all of it homemade dough and everything. It was the weirdest thing. So Doug had some and asked if I wanted him to put it away. And I said, yeah, I'll warm some up later because I had made it earlier in the day and enough to last a couple days. So he put it in the freezer when he was done. So when I went to eat, I mean, it wasn't the most major crime in the world, but it's just these little weird things like, oh, Barb's not going to eat. She just went through hours of work to make me something, so I'll just freeze the shit and make it harder for her. I don't know. Hey, Doug, what weirdo? you know. So anyway, I don't know. It's just thinking about because I got food on my mind right now. What I'm gonna and then for Mother's Day, I just had fluffy scrambled eggs and toast. And I let Doug butter the toast, and he puts like extra, extra, and I usually put less and less, but it was good. I had two pieces. The first piece I had was it tasted really good. The second one was a little harder to choke down. So I had like some major protein and fat. So I haven't had sugar for a few days. I might tonight. Um, I'm going to have my Mother's Day meal today, which is going to be General Tao's um, Chinese chicken on fried rice, probably pork fried rice. So they make we have a little um China buffet in our town. Um I think that's what it's called, just China buffet. And they have the best like takeout. Their takeout meals like $7 this time of day. Um you can get, and there's so much food in there you can't hardly even eat it. And then $11 if you go like at nighttime. Just a minute. Scram, you. I'm busy. Scram. Talk to you later. So yeah, so they have the best stuff. It's like really hard to resist. I haven't had any for months, but every once in a while, you know, I'd rather have it brought home, the takeout, than going in to eat it or get it or whatever, which we have dined in there before. But yeah, it's really good. So like for $14, you literally could make two meals out of it. For two people, you can make four meals out of that stuff. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure the last couple times we've gotten it, I don't know if it was like nighttime, maybe they gave us more, but there was so much. There was enough for 2 separate days. So it'll probably be the case tonight too, but it's just super good. I make a lot of my own Chinese food, well, especially like easy stuff like stir fries or chow mein. I like to make my own chicken chow mein and my own sweet and sour chicken because or pork, but I prefer sweet and sour chicken. Pork's okay though. It is. I don't really like pork, but I think when you disguise it with other stuff, it's like, or like maybe limited. I like bacon, you know, um, but I don't eat it often. And the last time I had it, um, I took a half a pound and I put it in some baked beans, and I still have a half a pound left, and it's been sitting in there. So yeah, I'm I'm pretty careful what I put in me. So last night I did make some pork for Doug specifically. I had a little bit, but he had a little bit more. But I made cream peas and pork. But the belle of the ball, I think, was I made peach sorbet with yogurt. So plain yogurt and honey, couple pounds of peaches, and a little drizzle of cream. I don't have any milk, otherwise, I would have just used like regular milk in there to make it like all blend up really good and whip it up and throw it in the freezer. And so I go to have some for dessert. And I have like a regular size cereal bowl, and I don't have it totally full, but I had quite a bit in there. And I thought, oh, I can just eat this, no problem. Well, it was like eating like probably a couple peaches with a bunch of yogurt after I already had a pretty good sized supper. So it's like, what a nut. But yeah, at least it was something healthy. It wasn't really horrible. So I guess when I say I haven't had any sweets, I haven't had any candy for, I think, 5 days actually. And this is the first sweet thing I've had in, I think, at least, I think, 3 days maybe. So I don't know, but it's been a while. Last week, sometime I had some chocolate, and yeah, Doug was talking to me about somebody that was he was learning. Well, he knows a lot like yoga and stuff. He knows what's up. He just doesn't necessarily do it, but he was doing like some breathing exercises, and he was telling me how to get my chocolates in line this morning. My chakras, my chocolates, like with both hands or something. Or it was just, and I'm like, oh yeah, chocolates with both hands. Sounds good to me today. So, but it's just funny. Get my chocolates in line. Yeah. That's the thing about narcissists and people that have walked on the dark side for too long. They got some lovable points about them. It's just if the unlovable stuff is shining through worse than, or not shining, like dampening their shine, you know, that's the heck of it all because like their cute ways are just awesome. It's just like their not so cute ways are not learned behaviors either. They're inbred behaviors. I'm almost for a fact on that matter, like how like if it be it your mother or father will bring you down to their level and try and keep you down at their level so their sins that they've performed in their life don't look so dirty because my kid does it too and my parents did it, so we'll just keep it going. No, it stops here. Nice try. you know then I was thinking this morning and I was going to write almost like an article on Facebook, and they didn't like the words I was using. I'll tell you in a moment. Let me grab my ashtray here. And, it was, oh, people like, I've heard people say that the word pedophile is used too much. Yes, they're child rapers, but pedophile is the word that has we become uh, associated to uh, sexually abusing a child, and it is the word that fits the crime. That is the definition, you know. So, like, what am I supposed to say? Um, I heard somebody, it's overused. Well, do you prefer child lover? Because there's certainly no love involved in raping and molesting children and grooming them, or watching other people groom them and molest them, even with their words and their actions, their clothing, the whole thing on this ugly fucking planet. But what? We're going to call them child lovers? Like the NAMBA, National Boy Loving Association, you know? Was that of America or some, you know what I mean. A lot of you do. But yeah, no. I'm just gonna call it for what it was. When I tried to prosecute a few different people that were involved in some things with my kids, and one of them I got, but it didn't stick quite as hard as I wanted it to stick. But when we were in court, pedophile was the term that was used, and that's the terminology in our court system. So I don't care if somebody has a different opinion that pedo or whatever is way overused. Well, children are way overfucked too, aren't they? So anyway, excuse me. you know, just somebody that I respect most of their opinions and what they do, but there's two things. It's like part of his family members are involved with helping and rescuing people that have been human trafficked and that type of thing. But it's like if I'm listening to something political, which is a rarity, so if I'm getting briefed by somebody, I don't want to hear somebody promoting their channel for what they're doing, which really is not. Maybe out in the community, helping the hoes on the street and getting some funds for all your fancy clothes and your fake freaking hair and all the gobs of makeup that you freaking wear. And I'm talking to somebody in particular, and he'll know that I'm talking about his wife. But I don't want to hear you promoting your wife. Maybe that's just me. Maybe other people like all that fake ass shit, but I'm not down with it myself. When I talk about people messing with people, I'm literally going after them in the courts. I'm literally standing up to the Masons personally in my life ever since I was a little kid. I took them to court when I was 17, you know. So when I say I'm actually against these people and what I do, I'm saying this is what I do. I'm not out there getting GoFundMe for the Go a Child Association. I'm out here educating people like, no, don't let Auntie Sally look at your child that way and dress like that in front of your kid or whatever. And no, you're not in love with your child, you love your child, these types of things that people just say and other people just let it slide. It's like, did you miss something? Like when I hear somebody like a step parent or say I'm in love with that child, like I have a stepdaughter, I am not in love with my stepdaughter. I love my stepdaughter. If something were to happen to both of her parents and she needed me, I am her stepmother. I'm not in love with my stepdaughter. And hey, she's beautiful, but I've never had one gay thought in my life. Maybe in this generation, people have um, been influenced or swayed or considered or whatever, but that's because of the tolerance level and what really is not natural. And I don't give a what anybody says, what we're supposed to accept or not accept in your life. If you're accepting of that, good for you. I don't want it around me, and I don't want it around my kids. I don't care how old they get, or any offspring I have from here on out, or from before. Family, I don't want that shit. The deviated shit. You want to be accepting of what is deviated? Go ahead. You want to condemn me because I'm not going to buy it? Go ahead. I don't care. I really do not care on that. When it comes to healthy, clean living and whatever, I am not going to tell my child that can get candida and yeast infections more readily and have a rectal cancer and the rest of the things that they don't speak about, even with the oral sex or the DNA that you collect from multiple sex partners. Any influence from another human being in contact with you stays in your system forever. You carry a part, and yes, our cells regenerate, but our DNA doesn't, you know, and our genes. But our cells can regenerate freshly every 30 days. Some even 12 or 18 days within there. But on a definite, the latest I've ever heard of a cell not refreshing itself unless it is diseased is 32 days. Usually any substance or anything except another person's DNA leaves you alone. But that's something, and they don't tell the truth about it. They really don't. So yeah, I get a little heated when I hear people say, "Well, don't say pedophile back to that." It's like, "Oh no, I'm not going to stop. I don't care if you think it's overused." No, what's overused is watching people act like phony motherfuckers in front of children and thinking that I'm going to sit there and say, "Hell, that's cool." Yeah, you're cool. Yeah, everything you say and think is just right by me. And that's exactly the way I'm going to do my family, the way you do yours. Nah, doesn't work like that. I'll tell you who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Lionel Nation. I've watched him for probably, I've known of him for over 30 years from the radio. He's a media analyst. He's an attorney. Well, he used to work for a governor. Um, can't remember what type of. Well, anyway, and well, he's mostly, like I say, a media analysis. So, um, and really, that is his calling, you know. And he's been known to be a comedian. He has a band. They have CDs out and whatever, bluegrass. They're good. It's not my genre, but it's. I have fun if I hear it. Like if there was a street dance and everybody was listening to like old time country or whatever, I could handle it. But yeah, I was kind of, even when I was out working on the ranches, it's like out west in Montana. I'm west, but I'm more Midwest. But I brought a lot of my kind of cityfied attitudes to some little towns out there. Kind of shocking back in them days. So it was a little different. I don't know. But I was. So, it's where I met my friend Tiggy and Kung Fu Master, showing me his new nunchucks that his dad had got him, asked if I wanted to try them, and I did a little bit, and then he does them right in front of my face, and I grabbed them. I've done that a couple times to people. I grabbed one set and kept them, but oh man, that's another. See, that's what I mean about people getting salty when you're martial artist, and then they the competition thing. There, yeah, be competitive, but if somebody's like a little quicker or whatever, you might want to consider it all. I don't know. So people are weird. Yeah, I finally gave away um any most weapons like I had. You know, it wasn't I didn't have them out of fear or anything, or to even use them. I had them as artifacts. You know, like I heard a story about now all they said was like spring. The town was spring. I don't know if it was where it was in the United States. But this mother, they were it was the news. It was like Fox 9 News from some lettered media affiliated with Fox 9. But so I'm not sure where, but this woman's daughter, 9 years old, went to school and had ate a sour gummy rope. Um, they had to eat in the bathroom because the teacher would not allow any exchanged foods, is what they told the mother in the classroom. So the child had eaten this candy in the bathroom and then went into class where she got sick. It was THC, marijuana candy that her friend had given her. And the mom asked the girl, she says, well, what's the 9-year old gonna know about drugs? It's like, oh, come on, woman, really? I've got little granddaughters that could probably tell you more than you want to hear in life. So whatever. On that note, I was pretty enlightened 9-year old myself, so I'll just put it like that. So anyway, but I mean, what happened after that, I entirely agree with the mother. See, I wasn't always this mom that said, "Oh, not my boy." I'm like, yeah, maybe, might have been, you know. So you gotta face up to the things for your kids, whether they like it or not, because you're still that example as the adult. What's better for the child in the long run, to hear the lie and accept it, or dig a little deeper and make your child face the truth. you know that's more important. So anyway, they ended up, first they said over the phone they were going to suspend her daughter for 3 days, and then she was supposed to have to do some like I think after school drug program, like they called it like DAP or something, after school program, I assume. And like for, I think they said 30 days. Then when she got in there, um she found out that they um let's see now, I can't remember. They had changed it like to 1 day and then something else. So the woman had took it to like the school board or the courts or whatever, and that basically, I guess, what she asked had asked the teacher. Well, like on Valentine's Day, she had spent like 27 dollars on candy for the kids that each kid could take into the classroom, and her daughter had came home with 20 pieces of candy, a sack full of candy from other children in her class. So if that wasn't allowed to exchange any candy within the classroom, how come that is taking place, and how come the school and the teachers weren't taking responsibility, and why did her daughter get suspended? And what about the other child that brought the candy initially, if it was forbidden and that child didn't get reprimanded? All that. I agree with the mom on a lot of those points, but I still would have dug a little deeper for the heart and the soul of my child, even if that child ended up growing up to not like me, because that's how I approach things, you know, for myself and for them. You, you, you first, a parent should take it to God in their heart and then approach the child with that outcome, you know. So I think the mother did the wrong thing at just trusting what her child said, you know. Yeah, there's times when I wanted to trust my children. There's sometimes that I could and I did. But parents just know. And just hearing the story, I got some instincts on the whole thing, because when the mom said these words, what's a 9-year-old going to know about drugs? Come on, woman. Really? What's a 9-year-old going to know? Everything. you know? Uh, 5-year-olds think they're old enough to get married, except they can't drive yet. You know, it's like, get real on this planet nowadays, for real. You know, a little boy or a little girl, 5-year-old, or three, give them 3 years, they think they're boss. It's like Boss Hogg just entered the room. Honor it, fall to your knees. This little creep's yelling. Like, shut up, damn it. You know? So yeah, I didn't buy all that. It's like, maybe you were that naive at 9. I highly doubt that, because I was really gullible and naive a lot of my life. And I mean, back in my day, I really didn't even know what being bisexual was until maybe I was. It started kind of dawning on me at about 12 or 13, but the actual realization of it didn't hit till about 18. I had already been married once and had it annulled before I knew all those type of things. And I mean, not all of them, but like those things, so. And that's some decades older than this woman that has a little 9-year-old right now. you know it's like a lifetime ago to me. So yeah, and things have changed, because there's nothing that a 9-year-old can't hear on the bus or out in the playground. 5 minutes with a little friend, and you've got the whole history of deviated situation. Doesn't take long. You can hear your friend say something, or another person about a friend, and it takes 30 seconds for something like that to be said. And that's as quick as that child learnt that situation. Just like that, you know. So, and well, I'll let it go on that note. I don't want to get cut off, because I think that's really rude if people don't like send people on a happy note and like greet them and um say goodbye to them. You know, if I get cut off, I can't do that. But I have a hard time sometimes watching people if they just like cut it off, or if there's like smoking hot, or even if, and that can be a little funny, like on a rant, but then just shut that down, or whatever. Maybe they want to shut it down at a specific point to make people think or anything, but I don't like the force of it. It's kind of a cold ass thing. So, and I seen somebody do. I seen, and I've done it a couple times. If I'm making a point, and I'll be like, boop, you know, But, and you'll know why I did it. But if a person doesn't specifically know why, then it's really cold. And I don't want to leave people on a cold note like that. So, peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Have a good night or day wherever you're at. God bless you. Thank you for joining me.